Good morning. It is very cold, and I'm actually wearing a coat because it was below freezing this morning, and I'm really chilled at the bone. I like it cold, but it's even so cold I have to wear a coat today. Anyway, we're going to take a stroll and talk about something lighthearted and positive. We're going to talk about the fun, the enjoyment, the enrichment, etc. of family stuff and holidays, and how your ethnicity and religion and your beliefs sort of ties into that and why that's a good thing. When I think about what it is to be Appalachian, being Christian's a big part of that. And whether you like Christianity or not, that's just how it is. And I, of course, have a more nuanced view about religion and Christianity and paganism and things than I once had in the past. Is that a vehicle coming? No, that work truck down there is very loud. I have a more nuanced view than I used to. I think that thinking about the divine and the metaphysical is not something that most people really care to do, but it's still an important element of what we are as people. And so those things are sort of baked into what we are, how we behave, the rituals that we have in regards to holidays, marriage ceremonies, that kind of thing. And that stuff is not something that you should take for granted. Because without that stuff, you're not a people, you're a person. Because if I didn't have the family experiences, the religious experiences, the ethnic experiences that I have had here in Appalachia, what would I be? American is not really a good ethnicity, is it? What does that even mean? There are 50 states, there are multiple territories, there are huge regions of America that have very different accents, very different cultural experiences. I would argue that there's at least 5 different major ethnic groups of stock Americans. And I don't even mean like immigrants and shit. I just mean, people that branched out from the original settlers and stuff like that. Appalachian is one of them. So, when I think about what it means to have a good holiday, to have a fun holiday season, it's both shallow and deep at the same time. Because, in my opinion, to really enjoy a ritual, a holiday, a celebration, a marriage, whatever it is, that has to have meaning that reaches you and is a part of you deep inside you. And when I see family, like I did for Thanksgiving recently, when I'm excited about seeing people again this Christmas, it's not just because those people make me smile and we have food. Those are good things. Those are shallow things. It makes me feel connected to something that's bigger than me. Something that's bigger than just my short period of time on this earth. It makes me feel like I am somehow part of a bigger organism. Somehow part of something that matters, that will outlast me and came before me. And that is a very critical thing that the anti-whites are trying to strip from white people, that the Malthusian globalists are trying to strip from all humanity, that the greedy corporate people want us all to be stripped of so we can all just be integers in their giant economic equation. And so, these are things I have discovered studying the empire of lies the last 10 years. And that's a very ugly, evil thing. It's probably not a new thing. I think that these tactics have been used for a very long time in different ways. But the malaise of modernity, the comforts of technology, the comforts that have come from the technological and civic successes of largely the Anglosphere, but also Western civilization in general. We have a surplus of food, wealth, energy, etc., that lets us have a life almost free of barrier to entry at all. And so, if you become anesthetized by shallow fulfillment, seeking approval of those around you for silly things, for shallow things, wanting to find identity in things like video games and movies, pornography, sport ball, drugs, music, those things aren't really an identity. Those things are just barely even a surrogate. Maybe one could, if a heavily constructed surrogate could be a real ersatz identity. It's still fake, though. And as much as I love fantasy fiction and video games and stuff, when I think about who I am, it's not that stuff. It's how I was raised. It's what I share with the people who live in the Shire here. And it's not just genetics that we share, although I do believe that is the source of this. It's knowing that I can walk to any of these dozens of houses that you see here, and they will know what Christmas means to me. They will know what a marriage means to me. They will know what a banjo is and how that ties into our ethnic music here. They will know why people like Johnny Cash and Dolly Parton. They will know why it's so popular here to have a gun and a dog. That makes sense to the people here. That's part of me. It's how I was raised. It's what's in me. And it's what's been around me my whole life. It's intrinsic and it's experience. It's both. And I have that here. And I've traveled a lot, and I talk to a lot of people online that live all throughout the West, different places in America, Europe, Canada, Australia. And so many people I meet are bereft of all of that. And not just city folk. People that live in suburbs, people that live rural, they share these woes with me. That they don't feel connected, that they don't have what I have around here. Not that I have it great around here. Because of me being a weirdo, because of me having a very staunch atheist period, because of me believing the lies of the narrative and wanting to try to make my identity about video games and drugs and sex and partying and stuff for years, I lost my way. And I became estranged for several years to the people here, my family. I lost a lot of friends along the way. Before I got better, before I realized that was just evil trying to pull me away from what was natural and good. And so I'm not even as well connected here as I could have been if I didn't have nearly a decade of my life wasted pursuing these ridiculous anti-white satanic ideas, right? Like I wouldn't have lost that big chunk of connection. And even still, in spite of that, I seem to have a better ethnic identity and a healthier feeling of placement here than a lot of the people that I talk to online who did not have those ridiculous debauched experiences that I had for many years. So it makes me really treasure what I still have here. And it's one of the main reasons why I decided to enter into the white identity content creator sphere. Is not necessarily because I think that the genocide of Europeans is wrong. I obviously think that. It's not just that I think ethically mass migration and the destruction of the host population and the destruction of their culture is wrong. I obviously think that. But it's because I feel like, as humans, to destroy the thing that makes us human, no matter what race we're talking about, no matter what technology level we're talking about, anyone who seeks to destroy that which makes us human, that which gives us identity, is evil. The anti-whites are evil. The globalist oligarchs are evil. The Malthusian death cult, they're all evil. Most of the people that run the United States government, I think, are evil. They don't care about what makes us human, what gives us rich, deep experiences, what gives us an identity. They don't want that because they don't control that. And anything that these bureaucratic managers can't control, they want to remove. They want to be done with it. They view everything that gives us a rich, healthy, real identity as a problem, as an error, as the system not functioning for them the way they want it to function. I'm going to leave the car in because it's really quiet. That lady's nice. But the reason why I wanted to make this video today is I got to talking to my friend Poman, the Swedish guy who you guys have seen on my channel a couple of times. He covers interesting people of history, covers European ethnogenesis stuff. He traveled earlier this year or late last year, I think it was around a year ago. He traveled to Lithuania, and he studied one of the oldest still extant non-Christian indigenous European religious practices there, and he studied people who ethnically have been European unspoiled for a very, very long time. And it was a very interesting deep dive that he did. And I saw in the people that he talked about and in the music and the religious expressions that he sampled in the videos that he made about his trip there to Lithuania. I saw and I felt a connection to them like I have to people here. I'm not saying I'm Lithuanian, I'm not. And I'm not saying that my people are exactly the same as the Lithuanians. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm saying I saw and felt that kinship there that I feel here with my Appalachian brothers and sisters here. It was a real thing. It's a beautiful thing. And I think that is why all of the quote-unquote white identity stuff is so denigrated and vilified by the powers that be. Because they want us all to be bereft of meaning, purpose, and identity outside of what they can shape for us, outside of the boxes they create to put us in. And since the holidays are coming up, Christmas is coming up, I want you to take my wisdom that I'm sharing today and just let it ruminate in your mind. Maybe you have family that you've become estranged to because maybe they're part of the culture war on the other side of you. Maybe you guys have religious differences. Maybe there are some problems that you have with your loved ones that are difficult to reconcile. I can't tell you what's the best choice for you, but I can tell you that if you don't feel any identity at all with the people around you or your family, there's something wrong with you. I'm not saying it's your fault. I'm just saying there's something wrong with you. We all are more than an individual. We are all, whether you like it or not, part of small and then larger collective groups. Family, church, school, business, work, community, county, state, and then country, nationality. We're all connected. None of us are just individuals. None of us. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up is Christmas time really makes me appreciate how I was raised, the people I come from, the way I was raised, the mythology I was taught, the Christian stuff I was taught, the survival stuff I was taught. And I was taught about it in a framework of identity. You're Appalachian. You're American. You are an original founding stock American. You are part of the state that was the last to join the Confederacy against the Union, and you were the first to go back. Because you are from people that care about this project, that care about what the Founding Fathers cared about and their vision for the future. I was taught that as a Tennessean. I was also taught that we're to be good people, stoic in the face of cruelty and be righteously indignant to tyranny. I was taught that because I was an Appalachian. And me and my kinfolk here are the most spirited warriors, the ones that they have recruited from to fight all of their disgusting brother wars. I was raised that way. Now, I know that there's going to be some contention among people that think that all war is bad or whatever, but I don't think that's true. I think men are called to violence or called to action, and I think that's a natural thing in men that will never go away. I think that the way leaders harness that natural male energy is what can be right or wrong. And I was taught that too as a child. I was taught that war is ugly, but sometimes necessary. I was taught that killing is unpleasant, but sometimes necessary. Like a story I've told before about having to kill a fox I thought was beautiful when I was young. I was upset, but my father told me that it'll eat the chickens. It might even kill a child. You can't just let these predatory animals run free in your property. You have to kill them. You have to push them out. I was also taught that you have to kill chickens. You have to kill pigs. You have to kill cows. After all, we raised them to have their milk and to have their meat. So they have to die by our hand. But we should be thankful for them. We should pray and honor and thank them for their sacrifice to us. We should thank God for letting us have the ability to have food and shelter and these animals that give us food and that we can use their skin for leather and things like that. I was taught that as a child. And if I wasn't taught that, that might still be in me somewhere. But it wouldn't be elevated. It wouldn't be cultivated like it was if I didn't have the upbringing I had. And so when you are spending time with loved ones this year for the holidays, if you even have any, think about what you've learned from them. Think about how you and your family are part of an ethnic group, of an ethnic identity. Maybe you're Appalachian. Maybe you're a New Englander. I don't know. But you're part of something. And if you're not, I feel sorry for you. Everyone needs to be a part of something bigger than themselves. We are not individuals. That is an evil, anti-white, anti-human lie that we have been fed by these monsters who seek to control us and treat us all like robots or just even worse, farm animals. So, be mindful of where you come from and why. Honor that, seek that, and let it be an important part of you, because we have to do that. We have to create and carry forward a cultural, ethnic identity, or it will be taken from us and it will no longer exist. And I think that's really important. That's my message for this week. I hope that you guys carry that with you. I hope that that ruminates in you and you think about that, because I've been thinking about that all day today. I thought about it last night too. It's been haunting me to talk about this. And next Tuesday, the 19th, December the 19th, I'm having Poman on my channel to talk about his experiences of going to Lithuania and him firsthand getting to experience a religious ethnic cluster that is very, very old in Europe. And it's a very interesting thing that he discovered there. It's a very good pair of videos, and I'll put the links to them in the description so you guys can watch them before our discussion next week. But it'll be at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Next week, I'll be talking to Poman about ethnogenesis and his experiences of him going to Lithuania, especially with how religion is part of things, not non-Christian religion. But anyway, I'm going to leave it off there. I'm going to head back. Thankfully, there's been no wind this morning. It's just extremely cold, so I have hopefully, knock on wood, hopefully a peaceful walk back to the house. So I love you guys. I hope to see you for Empire of Lies this Thursday night at 6 p.m. We will definitely have another installment of that. And of course, Discordant Dragons next Monday, and my discussion with Poman about ethnogenesis and pagan religion of Lithuania next Tuesday at 3 p.m. God bless.